One of my all-time favorite wild edibles to eat is morel mushrooms. They are also one of the hardest wild edibles to find, which makes them a true prize of the forest. Most morel hunters will tell you that searching for these mushrooms is part of what makes them so great. Morels can be found mainly in the mid to eastern United States and also along its west coast. They also grow across Europe, although I'm not as familiar with our hotspot locations there. Morels are also located in my home country of Canada. However, there are less of them there. In fact, I searched for 2 years in Ontario, Canada before I found my first patch of yellow morels, but they were worth the wait. The two main types are black morels and yellow morels. Today's episode will focus on the more common yellow morel. But before I get into how to find and identify a yellow morel, I want to caution you. Although morels are fairly easy to identify, there are a few species of poisonous mushrooms that look similar, such as the false morel, otherwise known as the brain mushroom, and the hooded false morel. The tips that I share in this video will help you properly identify a yellow morel, but it's still important that you research morels on your own as well, from multiple trusted sources. And of course, if you're unsure, leave it alone. With all of that in mind, here's a few tips on how to increase the odds of finding your own patch of yellow morels. Morels only grow in the spring, when the soil is most soft. In my area, morel season is only 1 week long, but down in the States, morel season can last up to a month. Morels grow fast and will often appear overnight. They also die fast and may only last a few days before rotting back into the ground. After collecting for a few years, I have learned to look for certain indicators in nature that tell me it's time to begin searching for these prized mushrooms. Number 1, when the leaves on the trees have almost completely come in. Number 2, when the trout lilies have come up but haven't blossomed yet. Number 3, when the trilliums have blossomed. And finally, number 4, when the mosquitoes are starting to come out. Of course, these are reliable indicators in my area, but you may notice different signs that point to the beginning of morel season in your area. Morels also need a day or two of rain and humidity. Remember, these are mushrooms we're talking about, and mushrooms love warm and moist environments with rich soil. Morels tend to grow on the edges of hardwood forests, especially near rotting trees. Morels particularly love to grow in stands of elm, ash, aspen, and oak trees. The patch of morels that I've found here grow at the edge of a forest which consists mainly of ash and maple trees. A good place to look is around or underneath rotting logs. Once you've located one morel, there will probably be more in the vicinity, so search the surrounding area slowly and be sure to watch where you step. You wouldn't want to accidentally step on a morel. Morels have a honeycomb design to them. They can also be described as looking brain-like. The cap is longer than it is wide, giving morels a consistent cone shape. In other words, morels aren't irregular in shape. The cap is firmly fixed to the stem, as opposed to other types of mushrooms where the cap flares out from the stem, forming a skirt. If a morel looks rotten or shriveled up like this, it's best to leave it alone. This one is obviously past its expiry date. When picking morels, simply pinch the stem until it breaks loose. Pulling the morels out of the ground will damage the mushroom's delicate root system and is therefore not advised. When you discover and properly identify a patch of morels, go ahead and pick all of them. When picked properly, the fibrous root system of the morels, known as mycelia, will remain healthy and unharmed. This means that the mycelia will be able to produce more morels in the future. The great thing about morels is that once you've found a patch, you will likely be able to find them again in the same approximate area in the following years to come. However, morels are somewhat fickle and are not necessarily guaranteed to reappear in the same place. That's because there are many variables that need to fall perfectly in place in order for a morel to be produced. As you can see, morels are hollow on the inside. It is best to collect morels in a mesh or paper bag. This will allow the mushrooms to breathe. Storing these morels in plastic bags can sometimes cause them to turn a little slimy. Morels don't have a long shelf life and should be eaten either immediately or within a day or two of being picked. Some people will dry out their morels so that they can be stored for longer periods of time. However, I've always cooked and eaten my morels within the same day that I've picked them. As I mentioned earlier, morels are hollow, which makes them a great place for slugs and other little critters to crawl inside. But don't let that throw you off, because there's a simple solution to this problem. Before I cook any morel, I place it in a bowl of water for about an hour. This will quickly flush out any slugs or bugs that may be living inside. Sure enough, within a half an hour or so, 2 slugs had abandoned ship and were sitting on the outside surface of the morel, waiting to be rescued. If anyone cares, the 2 slugs were relocated to the front lawn, and to the best of my knowledge, have been doing quite well ever since. After evicting the morel's tenants, I sliced the mushroom in half, lengthwise. Then I gently washed the inside of the stem with water. Morels need to be cooked before eaten, so my favorite thing to do is fry them up in some butter with a little bit of garlic powder. Morels have a great flavor on their own, and they really don't need anything else added to them. Even without garlic powder, morels taste absolutely incredible. As a general rule, if you like fried mushrooms, then you're going to love fried morels. As you can see, my morel has shrunk a considerable amount in the frying pan. This is normal. After a few minutes of frying each morel half on both sides, they were ready to eat. 2 years ago, I collected 6 morels. Last year, I found only 1. And this year, I have found 1 so far. So with our 1 morel nicely fried, my wife savored one half, and I savored the other. We're hoping that the next rain shower will cause more to appear within the next few days. But if not, we're happy to have found what we have. Life's like that. Gotta savor what you have. I'm the outsider saying, until next time.